Hey my glam girls, welcome back to my channel. It's Chelsea, where we talk about all things glam and all things girly. I am a beauty enthusiast that loves to talk about everything surrounding beauty and makeup, but I also like to switch it up and throw in a little bit of fashion and some vlogs. So if those types of videos sound of interest to you, I would love for you to consider subscribing and joining the Glam Girl Squad. And today, I am so very excited to finally be talking about REPHR brushes. And of course, I talk about them, but I have not done like a dedicated video toward their brushes, why I love them, which ones I love the most. So we will be delving into all of that because tomorrow, friends, Tuesday, October the 19th, REPHR is launching their holiday collection. As with any type of launch that they do, they're also going to be having some additional savings. And so I cannot wait to share all of that with you all. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today, and let's just get right into this video. So starting Tuesday, October the 19th through Sunday, October the 31st, so almost 2 weeks, REPHR is going to be hosting a huge sale for the holiday season. And so they're going to be launching their Flagship Eye Set. That's going to be for hooded eyes, and there will be a set for regular eyes. They will also be launching their holiday collection, which is going to consist of 3 new face brushes and also a modular vanity set. And then they're going to be having 20% off of their entire website, which is amazing. What makes this launch also extremely exciting, especially if you've been wanting to get into REPHR brushes, but you were just kind of like, I'm not sure, the price point might still be a little steep for me. This is going to be an excellent time for you to definitely try their brushes, because if you did not know, REPHR is going to be a company that makes Fude, so Japanese-based brushes. And as of right now, they are, I would say, they're probably now going to be the company that makes Fude at the cheapest price. So Tom said, over the last few months, we've worked with our suppliers to lower the production costs of our most popular eye brushes. So they said, for this holiday launch, they're going to be able to provide us their brushes for as cheap as $12 a brush. And if you know Fude, that is not heard of at all. They also know that from feedback that they've gotten from their customers that a lot of us are interested in eye brushes for hooded eyes. So they are preparing 2 sets of brushes, their flagship eye brushes. One is going to be for people who have normal eyes. The other one will be for people who have hooded eyes. Both of these sets are going to retail normally for $120, but with the promo price, they will be $72. So we get 6 brushes, $12 a piece. 6 times 12 is 72. Come on now. Okay, so let's get into seeing what these brushes look like. I thought I cleaned all my brushes, and I did not. I cleaned all of my eye brushes. I cleaned the new face brushes, but I did not clean the rest of the face brushes, so I'm sorry, but we're here now. Okay, so the first flagship eye set is going to be for people who don't have hooded eyes. And so the brushes that are inclusive in that are going to be brush number 1. This is going to be a standard great blending brush. I love how the ferrule is pinched, and so it's kind of a little flat. It can be a little flat on the sides. Mine I've used time and time again, so it has flared out, but it does have that dome shape that allows for it to be a great overall blending brush. So I like to use brush 01 as like a good transition color, or if I have put on, eyeshadow and I really just need something to blend out the edges, 01 is great for that. So that's the first brush in this flagship set. Then we have a brush 02. This is going to be excellent as your packing brush and your shader brush. So once again, we've got this pinch ferrule. It's nice and pretty much slightly domed on the top, but I love that the bristles are a little stiff. Nothing that's like completely not flexible or that's going to be uncomfortable on the eye, but definitely flat and stiff enough to allow the brush to pick up a lot of product, pack it on, especially with like your metallic shades and things like that. I love using this brush because it can really pick up the product and pack it on in one place without me having as much follow as I can. Then we have brush 03, which is a really excellent detailed pencil type of brush. So I love how we go to a nice pointed tip. I love to use this for blending out shadow on the lower lash line, or if I literally want to have the most detailed work into the crease, this brush is excellent for it. Then we have brush 12. This is going to be a brush that's also great for blending out shadow across the lower lash line or doing nice, if I could say, detailed work for the outer crease area. That's how I use this brush. And I will also use it into the crease if I really want to build up product into the crease. I like that this particular shape is going to be more rounded, so it really works well for blending wherever you want to blend along the eye. And for me, I like that I can get a very diffused blend with this brush along the lower lash line, or I can really kind of concentrate a color right here along the outer edge of the eye. And then the fifth brush is going to be brush 15. This brush is going to be also another blending brush. And just to compare it to brush 01 and 2, notice number 1 that the ferrule on brush 01 is more pinched, so it's going to allow for these brush hairs to flare out more, whereas the ferrule on brush 15 is going to be circular, so the hairs are going to be concentrated going toward more of a tip versus having that dome shape. So both of them are going to work well for blending product along the eye, but I have also used brush 01 to loosely apply a shadow across the lid and kind of pack it on, and you can do that because of the pinched ferrule in brush 01. And then the last brush in the original flagship set is going to be brush number 29, the tiniest little short detailing brush. So this brush is great for liner. So if I wanted to do a liner, you know, on the top of my eyelid and blend that out, or very, very, very detailed and concentrated liner on the lower lash line. You could even use it for inner corner highlight if you wanted to, but this is the cutest and tiniest brush that I own. So that is the initial flagship set. Now the flagship set for hooded eyes is going to consist of the same 01, 02, and 03 brush. Then we get into brush 13. So this is going to be a very small detailing blending brush. And so when I say detailing blending brush, I like that it can fit very nicely into the crease here, but the hairs are going to be a little longer and more pointed so that you can really get into the crease of the eye. And if you have hooded eyes, you know that that's not always easy to accomplish if you have brushes that are more like dome shaped and wider. The fifth brush in the flagship set for hooded eyes is going to be brush 14. And as you can see, once again, these hairs are going to be longer. They also come to a bit of a point, allowing for you to really get into the details of the eye. And then the last brush in the flagship eye brush set for hooded eyes is also going to be brush 29. Once again, this tiny, tiny, tiny detailed eyeliner brush. So those are going to be the two brush sets that are going to be promoted during this sale for the eyes. Once again, $72. Okay, with the purchase of one of their flagship eye sets, you also get a complimentary modular vanity component B, which is a $20 value. And from the picture, because I definitely tore open all of my vanity modular sets and I threw the boxes away, and that was not smart. So from what I can see in the pictures, I believe that this is modular B as in boy. There is a divider in the middle here, so you can place your brushes in here like this. So these are the brushes that I keep in here. I think it's modular B, or because the picture is kind of dark and I can't see, modular B might be the lipstick holder, which is what we have here. And this will hold 9 lipsticks. And as you can see, this lipstick has a hexagon shape. It fits very nicely in here. I have some Goss lipsticks in here that fit nicely. And I have a Suku lipstick that fits really nicely in here. Here's a Pat McGrath lipstick, and just wanting to show you that the Pat McGrath ones fit really nicely in here, which I really like that these square openings are fairly large, because I have another lipstick holder and my Pat McGrath ones, in terms of the hole, literally only go down to about here, because the square opening is too small. But with these, it's open wide enough to where it fits nicely. And to give you even more perspective, here is a Fenty lip gloss. This also has a pentagon shape, and these actually do fit as well. And these lip glosses have a nice size to them. and they fit quite comfortably. So I really like this lipstick holder. Like I said, I think B is either this one or B is the one that I showed you, that square that has the division in the middle. Moving on to their new face brushes that they're launching. So they are launching 3 face brushes. These are brushes 30 through 32. I am so excited to share these with you because I have already been using them. I've already washed them. So these are what the brushes look like washed and used. And they are regularly priced at $226, but they're going to be on sale for 40% off, and they will be retailing as a set for $136. Excellent deal. And if you purchase this set, you get the Modular Vanity Core Set, which is going to involve the Vanity Set in B and C. So I have a better picture of B and C. So here we go. Modular Set B is going to include the lipstick set, one of the storage sets that is actually open. Look at that brush in there. So it's not the one that has the divider in the middle. It's actually just this open one. I keep a lot of my eye brushes in here. If I had time, I would count all of these, but as you can see, I have a really good amount of brushes in here, and I still have space to add more. So we get one of these, and if I didn't tell you, these are magnetic. Look at that. So you can actually organize them the way that you want. So this is Modular B, the brush holder and the lipstick holder, and then Modular C is going to be the palette holder. And just to give you an idea as to what palettes will fit, I'll show you some of the palettes I've been storing mine in. So here's the ambient lighting palette from Hourglass. I have a Suku eyeshadow palette that I put back here. Here is the Hourglass larger pan face palette. Then I've got my Suku blush palette. And as you can see, I still have more space for more palettes. These fit really nicely. And they don't take up a lot of space, which I really like as well. My suggestion would be to get 2 of these. And the reason why I say that is because I have 2. Here they magnetize together. And I have more space now. So whereas before I could put my Hourglass palette in there, but it could have, you know, it was kind of sliding around. Now I have my Hourglass palette here, and I feel like this palette has more stability. Same for this one, more stability between the two. Same for the Suku eyeshadow palette. So I think if you want a palette storage system, I would get 2 of these because you just get a little bit more stability in your palettes in the vanity set. And then you also have a little bit more room as well. Because, you know, let's say you had, for instance, I have a Suku eyeshadow palette. It only takes up 1 corner. So I could stick another smaller quad on this side. So let me get one of my Tom Ford quads. I can put that right here as well. So if you get 2, you can have a little bit more storage space, you know, kind of get more bang for your buck with 2. So yes, like I said, if you purchase the face brushes, you do get modulars B and C with those complimentary. Now let's get into these face brushes. So first, let's start off with brush number 30. Brush Maya is in the room as well, so if you hear all the rustling in the background, that's her. So here is brush 30. Is this brush not divine? So this is brush 30, beautiful, beautiful powder brush. I love that we have more of a circular, sort of pinched ferrule here that allows for the brush hairs to flare out. Like I said, this is what the brush looks like, nice and washed, and so we get to see the full proximity of the brush. I like to use this brush to apply a diffuse amount of bronzer, especially if I don't really want to concentrate my powder bronzer on my face. This one does a really good job for that. Or I have also used this when I'm just kind of blending powder along my face. This one is great for that. Now, if you're looking at this brush, you're like, well, how does this brush differ from brush number 25? Once again, sorry I didn't wash this one. Kind of forgot about it. So here's brush 25 and brush 30. So brush 25, number 1, has a completely different shape to it. So brush 25 definitely comes more to a point. It's also more flat along the sides, whereas brush 30 is completely domed and more rounded. Also, of course, when we're looking at the ferrule, the shapes of the ferrule are different. So for brush 25, I will also use this one for bronzer and contour, but I can get more of a concentrated blend of my contour bronzer versus with brush 30, I'm getting more of a diffuse blend of bronzer. Or like I said, I can buff and powder with this brush. Versus brush 25, I primarily just use it for my bronzer contour. It's just fluffier, but I will go ahead and concentrate and pack that in right along here. I personally don't use this brush to like apply powder this way, simply because it is more flat. For me, I like more of a circular motion to buff and powder versus like packing it on. Does that make sense? And then if you also have brush 22 and you want to see a comparison of brush 30 and 22, here are the differences here. So once again, we've got more of a pinched ferrule here for brush number 22 versus a circular rounded ferrule for brush 30. And then brush 22 is going to be more dome shaped, whereas brush 30 is going to be more circular shaped. So I also use this one to do bronzer and contour, but these hairs are going to be a little stiffer than these hairs. You guys see that? You have a little bit more stiffness because these brush hairs are packed a little more tightly into the ferrule here. And so I think this does a really good job of concentrating that bronzer contour and getting it where you want. Even though it's large, I think you can get a more concentrated look of your bronzer contour versus with brush number 30. So those are some differences. I love brush 25 and brush 22, but you know, just in case you have these and you were wondering differences between the two, those are my differences. If we're looking at brush 05, this is also another great all-around brush. I think this one is excellent for a bronzer, contour, blush, like all the way around type of brush. So here's brush 05, here's brush 30. So obviously brush 30 is a lot larger than brush 05. Also, the ferrule is pinched with brush 05, where it is rounded with brush 30. And so these hairs are nice and fluffy as well, whereas brush 30 is going to be more fluffy. And of course, the hairs are going to be a little bit longer. Brush 05 takes on that more dome shaped as well, very similarly to brush 22. But if you want something to fit the face a little bit more, have more of a concentrated look of product on the face, brush 05 is going to do that for you as well. And like I said, this brush is very multifunctional. Bronzer, blush, you can even do a little highlight if you wanted like a very broad strip of highlight as well. Or you can use this one for powder. So I really enjoy that one as well. So yes, this is brush 30, and those are like I said, some comparisons that I thought might be helpful for you. Then we get into brush 31, and this is such a beautiful foundation brush. So if you look at the tip of this brush, and I'm gonna have to confirm this with Tom, so I will confirm this either on the screen or down in the comment section. I'll pin my comment just so you know. But it looks like this particular brush is going to have a dual fiber, because when you look at it, the natural hair is here, but then at the top, the hairs look quite white, which gives me the illusion that we might have a dual blend of hairs. It's not maybe totally just natural hairs, but like I said, I will confirm it. I have nothing to confirm that now. So as of right now, all of these brushes that I'm talking about are natural haired brushes. But this is brush 31. This brush, ooh, blends out foundation so beautifully across the face. So the way that I love to apply my foundation, I love to stipple it into the skin first, and then I will go in and blend if needed. To give you perspective of what some of my favorite foundation brushes are, we've got the BK Beauty 101 brush. Love this because it is angled, okay? Another one of my favorite foundation brushes, if I can find it, Sonia G's. This is her Jumbo Base brush, angled. Then I have this brush here. I don't remember where this one is from. I want to say Chikuhodo. Either way, we got a nice angle. So I love angled brushes to blend out my foundation. And this one is so beautiful and big and fluffy, but it also blends out the product really nicely. I love that the ferrule is nice and pinched. It goes in, so the hairs of this brush are going to be stiffer, but still very soft. This brush blends in the product so nicely, so I highly recommend this one. To do some comparisons, we've got brush 17. So I love brush 17 to apply cream blush. It is my go-to for cream blush. I've also used this brush to blend in my foundation, but because it's smaller, it does take a little bit more time to blend it in. So I really like using this for cream blush. But looking at the two against each other, number one, brush 17 is definitely smaller, not angled, very flat at the top, whereas 31 is angled and a lot larger. put Riley out. These are the only two brushes that have a flat top surface in a REPHR's brush collection. So I really enjoy both of these, but like I said, this is one that I've used for face. This is one that I use for cream blush, cream contour. I've even have used this for cream highlight as well. Then the cutest, but definitely efficient concealer brush. So this is brush number 32, and if I could say it's the baby version of brush number 31. So we have this angled shape, and the brush hairs are nice and tightly packed into the ferrule. So we've got a little bit of flexibility, but not too much. So it makes it really nice to blend in concealer under the eye. I also like a really good tightly packed brush to blend in my concealer, because then it doesn't allow for the concealer to move around too much. And if I want to build up concealer in an area that I feel might be a little too hollow, or that I really want to brighten up, this brush will do it. Now, for some brushes that I really enjoy by REPHR that are not in a set in terms of what we're talking about for the holidays, but that you can also purchase and get 20% off. Brush 04, this angled brush is so beautiful. It has a nice pinched ferrule. We've got more of a dome-like shape here. And this is excellent for bronzer and blush. That's how I use this blush brush more often. Love to use it to apply products like this and also blending it out. It's a really good applicator and blender brush as well. Brush 18, very, very beautiful for really getting into the contours of the face and concentrating products there. So we have a nice pointed tip of the brush hairs, so you can really concentrate a color right here if you're trying to do a nice contour or nice sculpted bronzer. You can even use it to contour the nose as well. Really beautiful. Brush number 19. I would say brush number 19 it can be a little similar to 18. So here's brush 18, and as you can see, brush 18, the hairs are going to be a little shorter, definitely more tapered, and then we get this pointed, rounded tip, and the ferrule is round. Versus brush number 19, the ferrule is a little bit more pinched. The hairs are also tapered, but we've got more of a flat side that are coming to this tapered point. So this brush, brush I use for my blush. I have used it for contour as well, but I like to use it for a blush. As you can see, it has more blush colors. And then I also like to use it for a more detailed highlight. Brush 28 is a really, really cute and smaller shader brush. And so this I think would work well if you have smaller eyes and you want a smaller shader brush to fit your eye shape. Just to compare it to brush 02, so we've got brush 02, brush 28. You can see that brush 28 is definitely more small. It's got a rounded tip and tapered hairs, whereas brush 02 is going to be more domed shape. And then turning it to the side, brush 28 is going to be definitely more slim than brush 02. Brush 02, the hairs kind of flare a little bit more than brush 28. Brush 23 is the tiniest brush that REPHR does sell, and this is the most detailing eye brush. So you can use this for liner as well. You can use it on the lower lash line. Comparing it to brush 03, here's what it looks like compared to brush 03. So here's brush 03, and this is brush 23. So as you can see, brush 23, the hairs are going to be shorter, much smaller than brush 03. So depending on what detailed work you'd like, brush 23 might be excellent for you. I like to use it when I really want to concentrate color along the lower lash line and build it up. And then I'll go in with brush 03 to further blend it out, to diffuse it a bit, but I don't want to take too much away from the drama of the concentrated shadow. We have brush 16, which I think would be great if you have larger eyes or if you have like a lot of eye space. This is a great tapered blending brush. So this brush is a little too big for my eyes in terms of like wanting to fit product into the crease because it is larger. This one I will use for the transition area, or if I just really need to blend out that transition area. So that's good for that. Comparing it to brush 15. So here is brush 15 right here. So you can see that the hairs on brush 16, which is right here, is going to be longer, and they'll also have more of a tapered, pointed shape to them, versus brush 15 has more of like a rounded shape. Then we have brush 26, which is going to be another great blending brush. So comparing it to brush 15, so showing all of the brushes together, here's brush 15, this is brush 16, and then brush 27. As you can see, brush 15 is going to be the shortest of the three. Brush 16 is going to be a little longer than brush 27, and the ferrule for brush 27 compared to 16 and 15 is going to be more pinched, a little more tapered, allowing for the hairs to kind of spray out a little bit. Also, just to show you in comparison to brush 01 and then brush 27, brush 01, like I said, has more of that pinched ferrule than the ferrule here on 27. And of course, the hairs are also going to be shorter. So I think brush 27 would work well for someone who has larger eyelid space and they want a really good brush to get into that transition and crease area. I think this brush will work well for you. And then last but not least, we have brush 26, which is going to be also a pencil-like type brush that I like to use along the lower lash line, or if I'm like blending out eyeliner across the upper eyelid, I'll use brush 26 for that. So comparing brush 26 to 03 and 23, so we have brush 23, brush 03, and then brush 26. So you can see that 26 is bigger than the three of them, has more hairs than the other three. And so once again, this might work really good for someone who has larger eyes, or you just want more of a diffuse blender pencil brush. So those are all of my REPHR brushes. I truly enjoy each and every one of them. And if it wasn't for my video today, I promise you every one of these brushes would be dirty. I use them all. REPHR makes some of the best brushes that I have for their price. There's tons of other Fude and they're amazing quality, but you are gonna pay for it. And so if you've ever been interested in REPHR brushes, I highly suggest that you check them out. I think that they are excellent for people who are just really trying to delve deeper into more quality brushes, but you're not ready to invest in paying like $250 for one brush, but you can pay $72, get great quality eyeshadow brushes, or you can invest in the face brush set for, I think it was what, $132. And you can get great quality brushes that will just allow you to experience the difference, because there is a difference in using Fude and other brushes, and I didn't think so myself until I tried. So highly recommend all of the brushes. If there's any questions that you have about these brushes that I did not clarify for you, definitely leave them in the comment section. And before we go, I just want to show you the other containers in the Modular Vanity Set. So I've already showed you set B that has the lipstick holder and then the brush holder. I've shown you both of the palette holders here. So like I said before, this is two of them together. I also showed you the square one that has the divider in the middle. And then lastly, we have this angled one that I really do like. So you can put pretty much anything in here. So just to tell you what I have, I've got a few amount of lipsticks, I have a few amount of lip glosses here, a mascara, another mascara, foundation. Then I have my NARS face palette in here, my RCMA Shinto series palette, small foundation. This is the Lawless foundation. I have cream blushes and cream highlighters in here. And then another eyeshadow palette. So depending on how you arrange your things, you can keep a pretty good amount of things in this one particular modular set. So I think their vanity set is excellent. Number one, because it's magnetic, so I can really arrange them how I want them to. The way that I've been keeping mine, let me put it together real quick and then I'll show you how I've been arranging mine. So this is how I have my vanity set arranged on my desk here. I have 4 of these containers that are just the open containers that you can apply brushes into. This one is the one that has a divider in the middle. And so I try to keep the majority of my face brushes in here, like face and concealer brushes. Here is a lipstick holder. And like I've mentioned, all of these are magnetic. So I keep this one here. This is the one that has the angle divider. And then these are the 2 palette holders. So I like to keep them all here. because when I'm filming, I can reach for my brushes. And then these are products that I keep that I either need to review or that I'm currently just really loving and I want to just have like right here at arm's length. So guys, that is it. I hope that you really enjoyed this video. And like I said before, if there are any questions that you have about any of these products, please leave them down in the comment section below. I will have a link down in the D box. It is an affiliate link, and if you do shop through that link, I will earn a small commission. If you decide to use my link, thank you so much for using it. I really do appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts on the new holiday releases. Let me know your thoughts on the vanity set. Is this something that you feel you might be interested in picking up, or is this something that you feel you might need? And if you've made it to this point in the video and you have yet to subscribe to my channel, I would love for you to consider subscribing and joining the Glam Girl Squad. And guys, that is it. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope to see you in my very next video. Bye guys.